Hey guys, what's going on? All right, so you had the question, right? I'm an American, I'm a Canadian. Can I invest in Mexico, or how do I buy property in the Riviera Maya, which includes Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Akumal, Puerto Venturas, all the other destinations in between? And the answer to that question is yes, you can. Right? There's two real types of ways. There's cash out. This is a very big cash market down here. And there's also financing, okay? So first let's talk about being a foreigner and buying property in Mexico. So the way that process happens, and the only way it can happen, is called through a fideicomiso if you're a foreigner, okay? A fideicomiso is, in short, a deed in trust, all right? So what happens is a bank, a Mexican bank, Mexican bank entity, owns or holds the deed for you in trust to you, right? So for all intended purposes of buying, selling, renting, owning, rebuilding, whatever you want to do, it's your property, okay? You can do that. Now the reason behind a fideicomiso, let me explain to you where it comes from. A fideicomiso is basically, it's only implemented when a customer is trying to buy, or a foreigner is trying to buy land or property within 50 kilometers of a border. This includes all waterfront, or I'm sorry, let me change that, oceanfront, because there are lakes in Mexico as well. So we're talking about oceanfront and the borders. So borders of Guatemala, borders of Belize, borders of the United States, and the entire peninsula of the Yucatan Peninsula around the ocean. So if you wanted to buy land inland, 50 kilometers in, then you wouldn't have to do a fideicomiso, okay? So how much does a fideicomiso cost? A fideicomiso costs between $2,000 to $3,000. And that price varies, depends on the time of year, the government's in place, but $2,000 to $3,000 is pretty much the fee you're gonna pay, okay? And then every single year, you're gonna be paying $500 to $700 per year, okay? And that's it, it's that simple. Now, how does it happen? How is it done? Or what do we do? All of that's done through what's called a notario, or notarial services, or a notary. But the notary, let me explain something really quick to y'all. A notary is not the same type of notary you'll get like in the United States. In the United States, anybody can be a notary, and you can just go to the post office, fill out a little form, and you get the stamp, and you're now a notary. After you put your hand up and you swear, and you say, hey, I promise to uphold the law, nothing but the truth, all that kind of stuff, okay? Now, a notary is a little bit different, okay? The notaries in Mexico are just a little bit different, because it's not just filling out paperwork in the post office to get your stamp to be a notary. In Mexico, in order to be a notario, you have to be an attorney. You've had to have gone to law school, obviously graduated, become an attorney, and then file for a permission or to get access to become a notary. But there's a big long line for that, and there's only a certain set amount of notaries allowed per year, just like the liquor licenses in some of the states. You know, some of the big cities in the United States, it's super hard to get a liquor license because there's a set number amount, right? So same thing happens with the notarial services here in Mexico, all right? And here in Quintana Roo. So it's a legal entity that will help you with the entire process. They will make sure everything is taken care of, okay? Everything. Now the service cost for all the notarial services is about 7% of the sale, give or take a few, okay? Some of them are less expensive, some of them are more expensive, but that's the ballpark that we play within. And within that 7% is included the $2,000 to $3,000 cost for the fideicomiso, okay? That's part of that notarial services. They take care of the paperwork, they take care of filing the paperwork, they take care of the deeds, the titles, everything that we need to do is done through the notary. So you have nothing to worry about. And we have many notaries that we work with ourselves. So the next question is, can I finance? Well, yeah, you can. You can finance absolutely 100%. There's several lending companies that work with foreigners here in Mexico that allow you to finance. The interest rates run from 7 to 11%, okay? This is all based on your FICO score back home. Now, also, they do the same type of things. If you have a really good FICO score, it's going to be lower down payment with lower interest rates. It's just the way it works. We all know how credit works. And they do 20 to 40% down. and they'll finance from 80 to 60% of the loan, okay, or 60 to 80%, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, so yes, you can finance. Now, there's a little catch here. You cannot finance pre-construction. In other words, the property that you want to finance has to be already built. You can't have land and then build on the land, and they're not going to finance you. It has to have title, has to be deeded, and it has to be a physical property for them to actually be able to go out there and do a, what do they call it, an eval. For them to go out there and do an appraisal to your property. They have to be able to appraise it to give the bank the amount of money they're going to loan you, okay? So that's how financing works. Now, there's also financing with some developers, but it's not going to be the longer financing like you would do typically through a bank or through a lending company here in Mexico, where they're going to give you 15 to 20-year loan. It's going to be a much shorter period of time, but it'll be with zero interest, right? So the developer, what they'll do is they'll ask you for 20 to 30% down. And let's say we're going to start building. As a matter of fact, there's a development I'm going to tell you guys about right now. But there's a development that doesn't begin construction until June of 2023. But people can jump in now and block their unit now and put their down payment. So how would this work? They would put 30% down right now, and then they would finance the remaining 70% at zero interest for the next 24 months. That makes sense? Because that's how much longer before they turn the apartment over to the people or the condo. Or you can do 30% down now and not give any more money absolutely at all until it comes to the conclusion of the development and they're turning the keys over to you, and then you give them the remaining 70%. That's how you can do financing with the developers, okay? So that was really short, insight on what you have to do. In other words, the two questions, right? How can I buy if I'm a foreigner in Mexico? Well, that's through a fideicomiso. And can I finance? Now, the next question you need to ask yourself that's going to be a big, important question is going to be where? Why do I want to know where? Because I need to know, I'm talking in third person, right? I need to know what I want with this property. Am I looking for a second vacation home? Or let's go back one step. Am I looking to relocate? Because I want the lifestyle of Mexico, the lifestyle of Playa del Carmen, the Riviera Maya. Is that why I'm moving here? I'm moving here to change my lifestyle, to change the way I feel, just to live in the Caribbean. That would be a different demographics. That would be a different area of the Riviera Maya that I would recommend for you guys to go look at, or we can look at together, obviously, to invest your money. The same things come into play with the finance companies and your FICO score and all the stuff I just told you, the fideicomiso, everything's still in play, right? But you're trying to figure out where you want to move to relocate you and your family. Okay, that's option one. Option two is, do I want to buy a second vacation home that I want to rent whenever I'm not using it? Not necessarily as an investment property to make a bunch of money on, but I want this to be available for me important times of the year. I want to come down in December, during Christmas. I want to come for 4th of July weekend. I want to spend Thanksgiving in the Riviera Maya. Nobody does Thanksgiving down here, by the way, because we're in Mexico, obviously. But you can still find a turkey at the grocery store. Do I want to have it on the important dates, right? Holiday dates, spring break, stuff like that. Well, that's an important factor. I want to have a property management company that's going to take care of my property for me. They're going to block the dates out that I want to come down. And making money is not that important, because if you were trying to buy this to make money on it and as an investment property, then I would advise you saying, well, don't block the most important dates. Why? Because everyone's coming down here on vacation and they're going to pay top dollar to be here in the Riviera Maya in those dates. But if you're looking at this as a second vacation home and maybe make some money on the extra on the dates that you're not here, it can be done. I mean, most of the condos are renting about 65 to 70% of the year. Okay, so you're going to get rentals. Then we'll look at a different part of Mexico, a different part of the Riviera Maya, whether it be Playa, Puerto Morelos, Puerto Venturas, or Tulum. Now you go to the next question is, well, Alberto, I want to buy a place purely for investment. I want a high ROI. I want to get the best bang for my buck. I want to put money in there, and I want someone else running it for me. I wanted to make it into sort of like a passive income, okay? Passive income, because some other property management company is going to be doing it for me. It could be us as well, or we can recommend someone for you. And I want some money to be rolling in. I want a vacation rental, I want an Airbnb it, or whatever kind of company you want to talk about, okay? VRBO, you got Airbnb, you've got trade channels, stuff like that. There's lots of places you can go through. Even brokers offer that service as well, okay? Then I'm gonna look at a different area. I'm gonna look at a more condensed area. For example, in Playa Del Carmen, I'm gonna look at places near Fifth Avenue. I'm gonna look at places near beach clubs that are very famous around this area, right? So Fifth Avenue is where all the restaurants and the bars, that's like the heart, so to speak, of Playa del Carmen. That's what feeds all these places around here, because Fifth Avenue was just such an amazing impact on this area. So if I was looking for something with a higher ROI, then I would look at Fifth Avenue and Playa del Carmen, right? I would look at Tulum. Tulum is huge right now for those vacation renters, those day in, day out, weekly rentals, come in, come out, check in, check out. It's got great return on your investment because of the entry level prices that are available for you in Tulum, and the amount of money you're renting it per night. It just makes money. It's amazing. It's a sweet opportunity to be in right now. It's one of those times, right? And then my fourth one is going to be, Alberto, I'm looking for an ROI. Yes, I've got cash, but I'd like to make some money. I want to get some equity, right? I want to flip, so to speak. So then I'm going to talk about doing something more in pre-construction, focusing more on pre-construction, and putting some down payments down with little amount as possible, holding on to it, and letting the price raise as more people buy, more people buy, more people buy. You're going to eventually have an opportunity to make 15 to 20% on your investment. Why? Because you held on to it, and as it became sold out, everyone was looking for it, right? Everyone was trying to buy it because it's running out of inventory, so the price goes up. So in this particular case, then 30% of your money on, let's say we're talking about a $100,000 property, you're going to put 30 grand down, right? 30 grand down, and it's in pre-construction. You're going to wait while the developer raises their price. They usually raise their price every 30%, just as an FYI, okay? Every 30% of the inventory that gets sold, they bump it another notch, maybe 5%, 6% or so. So in the end, you end up getting a return on your investment for that particular purchase of 15 to 20% because of the price hikes. And then what you do at the end, you have this property and you sell it, right? So here's where we have a little more prospecting done, right? A little more homework is done by myself as your real estate agent and with my team to see which areas are doing that type of return, which areas are in high demand, which properties are beautifully built with the best amenities and the best materials to build the condo. And I've got several off the top of my head that I can give you right now, but this is not an advertisement for real estate quite yet, okay? So then you can actually make some money as a flip, right? That's where you're getting more. Alberto, I want to make some money and do equity flips, right? I want to make some money on the long run on this, and then take that money and buy two more, right? So that's where that gameplay comes in. But those are the four things you have to look at, right? Looking for relocation, looking for a second vacation home. I'm looking for a high ROI. I want to have a vacation rental making me some money. Or fourth and last but not least, I want to do this to build equity and flip it and make some money. Long-term investments flip, long-term investment flips, okay? So those are your three options. I'm sorry, those are your four options. And I hope I answered your questions about fideicomiso, which is a deed and trust, and financing options. I hope I explained that to you guys clearly enough. If you want any more information in private, you want me to contact you or somebody from our team to contact you, I want you to swipe up. I want you to fill out that form that's here, okay? And once you fill out that form, we'll contact you and we'll get this going. All right, buddy? Okay, so I hope I did a good enough job explaining this to you guys and gave you guys a good idea on what the financing options are, Well, I hope that answered all your questions. I hope I took care of getting you guys the information you needed to know about can I finance and can I buy in Mexico as a foreigner. I also gave you some extra information in there about what's important to look for and your decision you're going to be making when you join our beautiful community down here in Mexico. Okay. Other than that, I hope everything was. Other than that, I appreciate y'all's time. Please, if you need more information, don't hesitate to contact or reach out to us. You can swipe up, fill out the form, and then I'll call you. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.